Recording. All right, good day. Welcome to another It's Your Time to Shine program here on Crestview Community Television. The It's Your Time to Shine program features local talent, artists like painters and sculptors, musicians, people who sing, people who dance, people who play guitar. If your son plays a horn at school, he's invited to be on the show. We just feature that. It doesn't cost you all a dime. We just want the local public to know what kind of talent we have right here in Okaloosa County. And we have a lot of it, folks. We have a lot of talent around here. Right now, I'm going to bring you a talented guy. He's a veteran, and he lives here in Crestview. He is a country music artist, and you will love his music. When you hear his voice, this guy has got a lot of talent, and you just can't just wait to hear what I've got to do with you here. So right now I'm going to bring up artist here from Crestview. His name is Josh Davis. Josh, how are you?
Hey, I'm good, Ken. How are you?
I'm doing really good. When Josh and I tried this before, he's using a Mac and I'm using the Windows, and it just really didn't mesh together how we wanted with the audio. So we're doing it again, and this time Josh got he's a computer science, and so he's got all the technical stuff worked out, the audio and video, and Josh, it looks and sounds great. So thanks for taking the time to do that.
Yeah, I appreciate your help.
No, not a problem. So let's talk a little bit about your let's talk about where are you from and how did you get started into music?
So I'm from New Orleans, and we moved to Mobile pretty quick after that. Excuse me. My mom got me into music. I was about 7 years old, and she bought my first drum set for me, and so I was hooked from then. And my mom had quite the diverse musical background too. I mean, she listened to everything from Pavarotti to Led Zeppelin to the Beach Boys, and so she really instilled that in us, that love for music. And she played guitar and played piano too. So never learned to play the piano, but picked up the drums and then started playing around on her acoustic guitar. And then, gosh, about 8 years old, I think I started drum lessons, and about 10, 11 started guitar lessons. So I've been playing ever since, and it's been a really important part of my life.
So your musical influence, is it strictly country, or do you do Southern gospel? Are you hip hop? Are you rock and roll? What is your kind of what's your genre that you play?
I listened to everything. I grew up playing in bands, and I had a Christian hard rock band that I was in the '90s called Death Row Pardon, and did that for a while. Put out a CD with that heavy metal kind of hard rock background, and my paternal grandfather, we called him Pawpaw. He had a friend, Gene Fair, who taught me about blues music. So I had that. And so my musical influence is really heavy from the blues. And then country, riding around with my Pawpaw in Andalusia, Alabama, he would, play all those songs for us coming out and whatnot. And then, so yeah, I kind of got the diversity from nearly everybody.
So how long have you been writing music? You seem to be a pretty talented writer. You've got several. You've got an album out. We're going to hear a little bit off that album here in just a moment. You've got a new 6-release CD coming out here real soon. We're going to have you back when that gets released. So when did you start writing? When did you say, hey, I think I could write some music, or just do it and just by chance?
I started writing worship songs in the late '90s. Mentioned the Christian band. That band kind of broke up, and we went our own ways. And I started pursuing my own thing and wanted to do more of a solo career. And so I started writing worship songs and writing music into that, and did that for a while. Tried to write some country songs back then, but it was mostly worship and blues. And it was learning how to put songs together and learning how to make. An interesting song that people not only feel the emotion, but it's, lyrically deep and that. So there's a lot of, there's a learning curve to it. And, it reached a point with that where I felt God's call back into the military. So I went and did that. And what I was able to get a bachelor's degree and master's degree, and then eventually took a commission. And we spent most of our adult life in war and dealing with that. So I reached a point with my military career where I was being medically retired with PTSD and TBI. So the musical stuff has come into play to help me heal and help me process and help me grow. And that was kind of the best therapy for me, was finding the ability to express what I was feeling, what I had dealt with, and some of the negative events and positive events into music. And it just kind of fit the outlaw country genre that I play in.
So did you write music when you were soldiering? Did you write while you were in the military? And you play music? Did you entertain for folks?
I never had the time to do the entertaining. I played at home and sang a little bit here and there, but mostly just played at home for my own enjoyment.
All right. So you've got we may hear some children coming into the background here soon. You've got your kids are getting out of school. They're coming home. So folks, this is a family program. So if you hear some kids in the background, you may see them on the camera. That's just how we do things here. Don't be surprised if the executive producer of Crestview Community TV walks in the behind me. He's done that many, many times during that. So, Josh, you had a song that was released a couple weeks ago. Let's talk a little bit about that song that you released, the Cowboy Boots and Angels.
Right. So this was my fifth professional studio recording, and it's a song that I wrote to help raise awareness for foster children and abused children. One of the issues I encountered with soldiers was they had been in foster care, and in deployments you get into some pretty serious conversations with some of these folks and finding out their background and all that, and just listening to them. And so I kind of became aware of a lot of the issues with there. The soldiers would tell me issues about basically being used as slave labor and just all kind of abuse that's just horrible. And so something I always had in mind was that I wanted to help foster children and help abused children and help raise awareness and, get people involved in that, in becoming part of the solution, sparking that kind of difficult conversation. So Cowboy Boots and Angels tells the true story of our foster children here in America. And there's 3 or 4 foster children that story is drawn from, but I found that it really pretty well represents a lot of their stories. And the song has really resonated with people, and people have gotten involved in sharing the song and doing all that. So
all right, so here's the album cover. Let's talk about the album cover, because that's special too. That is a painting that your mother-in-law or someone did. Just talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so this painting right here is my son and my daughter. It's an oil painting that Barbara Davis, my stepmother, did. And it was a photograph that the children's mother had captured, like youngest son walking with my daughter down the railroad tracks and holding hands. We were trying to get family pictures, and that one stuck out to Barbara. And then she did the oil painting of this, and that painting is hung in our house, for as long as I can remember since we took that picture. So it's been really important to us. And when we were looking for the album cover, she had the idea to use this one because it really tells a story of a lot of these children, what they're going through, because they enter into these lives where you've got the older sibling trying to carry and care for a younger one, or they're just kind of on this path trying to navigate themselves, because the adults are in and out of the situation, or they may have one foster family for a little while and then go back into a group living situation, or the older foster children, they're just not going to get adopted. And so at 18, they're put out of foster care, they age out and they're on their own. So yeah, this painting there's a lot of depth to it.
Well, how much of an influence are your children on your music? I mean, do they now? This image here of your kids, they're older than that now. Is that right?
Yeah, we've got six total, and one is in the Army. The other five are in the Okaloosa school systems here.
Cool. How much of an influence are they on your music? Are they in your studio there when you're recording and being playing a part of it? Do they play instruments and music and sing themselves?
My daughter is a pretty prolific songwriter, and she's wanting to learn piano. She plays guitar and writes her song, and so yeah, she's one of my biggest critics there, if you would. I kind of bounce ideas off of her, and
Right.
ask her what she thinks. And in terms of my audience is much older, like 35 on upwards to 65 or 70. But I always get her opinion on it.
Well, when are we
And
going to see her? When are we going to have her on the show?
I don't know. I'll have to run it by her.
Yeah, see if she's interested in come on doing a acoustic. But she can be part of your show, and folks, we're talking with Josh about me producing his own show, where he kind of does his version of It's Your Time to Shine. Let him interview the local artists, and that's something he and I are seriously going to do at some point. Maybe not this month or next month, but hopefully before the end of the year, we'll have him lined up where he could do some shows, and we'll produce it here at Crestview Community TV and have a musician talk to musicians, but rather than somebody who doesn't have a clue about any of that, talk about it. So I'm excited about that, Josh. You still interested?
Yeah, definitely. One of the things I'd really like to do is try to help elevate Crestview's music scene. Mobile, we had a lot of options coming up growing up, and certainly in New Orleans too. Like, we kind of had places that the teenagers could play and do all that. But I think, especially some of the young people, they're challenged because the professional music scene around here is really pretty elevated. You got to be at a certain level to get into the gigs and get steady work, if you would, playing it. But yeah, if we could help elevate Crestview's music scene, I think that would be good. Using local people for some of this stuff as I continue to grow, and giving an avenue for some of the other people that are up and coming. I mean, and even if you're older, like, it's never too late to start doing this. I mean, I really started getting into the songwriting, the professional end of it, at like 45, 46.
Well, I'll do whatever I can to help you do that. I think that'd be really great. If I was a younger guy, I'd go downtown, buy me a building, and we'd put something down in there. Not necessarily a club, but somewhere where the local musicians could come and perform, and just share their talents and their experiences with the public. I think that would be really great.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, listen, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to listen to Cowboy Boots and the Angels. That's the latest release that Josh, we'll talk a little bit more about that song. But first, let's hear from a couple of our sponsors that make everything that you see here on Crestview Community TV a possibility. So here we go. We'll run this ad, and we'll be right back.
We're 235 feet above sea level. We get 65 inches of rainfall annually. That doesn't stop us. We are the largest city in Okaloosa County and one of the fastest growing cities in Florida. We love our schools. We support our military, because that's just what we do here. We are Lee Buick GMC. We've been here since 1946. And just like you, we are Crestview.
Hi, I'm Amanda Gaskin with Briar Patch Realty. Helping qualified heroes save money is my passion. When I help a hero buy or sell a home, they receive a check from Homes for Heroes. Check out amandasheroes.com for more information.
All right. I want to give a huge shout out to Amanda and Kurt Gaskin. They've become not only just great supporters and sponsors of Christy, but really good friends. And they help us just with everything that we do, from sporting events to these types of shows. So I can't say enough to thank Amanda and Kurt Gaskin there at Briar Patch Realty, and Scott Lee over at Scott Lee Buick GMC. Been with me for many years, and we really appreciate them, because if you like what you see here, this programming, our most popular show, Court TV, those type of things. The sponsors that you see on here, the sponsors you see going across the bottom of the screen, these are the ones that that support us. So, give them a shout out, send them an email, give them a call, let them know that you go to their Facebook page and post something that you appreciate the sponsors here on Crestview Community Television. So, Josh, here we go with once again. Tell us a little bit about what's behind the song. What motivated you to write the song? What is the song about? Is it about your children, or I know it's about some foster kids, but what really got you with the lyrics and got into it?
The lyrics for this song actually took me quite a while to put together, to where I could really tell the story in a way that would hook people into the song and keep people's attention and that kind of thing. So lyrically, it really took me a couple of years to put this song together and write it, and was just able to pull it all together. I think it was February or March of this year, where I got all of the lyrics that I could pull together, along with the chorus that would talk about this in a meaningful way. And the chorus is God sent me an angel, and it talks about the cowboy boots, and it's really a way of painting a picture that sometimes who God sends is us, just in our normal day, wearing our dirty cowboy boots. And at the end of the video, you hear there's a quote like, "We can't change the world, just one of us, but you can change the world for that one child, or just two children."
All right, well, let's listen to something. I want to talk a little bit more about the song and production. Folks, we're talking to Josh Davis. Now, Josh Davis is a local artist here in The View. He's would you consider yourself a country western artist? Is that how I should refer to you, or are you just how do you refer to yourself?
My genre is outlaw country. It's more of an independent kind of thing. Like, I don't have a major label behind that, and there's some stylistic differences, like with the big steel guitars and electric guitars and bigger drums and that kind of thing. So outlaw country, but I've got everything from outlaw country to gospel. I've got I think 2 gospel songs that I've got recorded now, and they are done in the outlaw country style. But they've got the big steel guitars on there, but they are gospel songs talking about my relationship with Jesus and faith and all of that, and kind of tells my story.
Check this out, folks. So this is where you can find Josh Davis's music. Let's talk about those 3 things: Spotify, YouTube, and Instagram. Josh, let's talk about what's available there.
YouTube has all of my my videos, the lyric videos on there, and there's some behind the scenes kind of things, and there's a couple other videos there. Facebook has a great deal of them too, but across social media, I'm the real Josh Davis. YouTube, my channel is Josh Davis Country Music, and you should be able to find it. But everything's linked through my website to therealjoshddavis.com, and so I try to keep links to everything everywhere.
So you're on all the social media sites. You're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all that.
Mm-hmm. I'm on TikTok as well, and I can't remember. I've got a couple others, but TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, those are the 3 mains that I'm working with right now. And then streaming sites, I'm on iTunes and Apple Music and Amazon and what else? Pandora. Okay. So pretty much anywhere you stream music.
Well, let's play this song, "Cowboy Boots and Angels" by Josh Davis, and it's available on those sites we talked about. We're going to listen to this. We'll come back and talk more with Josh.
If I reached my hand out for you, would you turn the other way? There's no one here beside me, and no one seems to stay. There's a needle on the counter, nobody here at home. Door is busted open, my bruises to the bone. To God send me an angel, not like the ones above. This one wears some cowboy boots and sure has a lot of love. And God sent me an angel with love to call my own. I guess he knew I needed you, his mama wasn't coming home. Reach my hand out for you, what would you have to say? There's no one here beside me, I'll took the easy way. There's a place I live on the inside, when my world turns upside down. I stay there so silently and try not to make a sound. Never knew that it was, don't know where it's been. I'm living life on the outside, looking in. To God send me an angel, not like the ones above. This one wears some cowboy boots and Joe has a lot of love. And God sent me an angel and help to call my own. I guess he knew I needed you, his mama wasn't coming home. Charlie cried out to heaven for you, now we'll fight here on your behalf. I love you till joy pulls over, child, I'm gonna see you laugh. I'm not the perfect answer, I'm here just in time. Tell you that I love you and I hold your hand in mine.
There you go, folks. Josh Davis, Cowboys, Boots, and Angels. What a fantastic song, man. Let's talk about the production of that alone, Josh. I mean, where was that done at? Did you go to some studio in New York City? Because it sounds like the big-time production.
Covington, Georgia. It's owned by a guy named John Johnson, and John is kind of one of the hidden gems in terms of producers. So he's really the one that produces my songs. I'll send him the original, the demos, and he'll work them up, and we'll map them out in the Nashville number system. And then as soon as we've got everything agreed on, they'll record the instrumentation or the instrumental tracks there in Covington, Georgia. I do the vocal tracks in my home studio here in Crestview, and then
gosh, they sound so good. They just sound so rich. I mean, it sounds like you're in some big L.A., Nashville, New York City studio. You guys are fabulous job. Now, the instrumentation. Do you play any of the instrumentation? Are you playing just the rhythm? Do you play the lead guitar? Are you playing any of the drum tracks or anything?
So the drummer is George Sandler. He's a professional drummer. The guitar player is Daniel Addison. We call him the preacher. But he plays the lead guitar, and Daniel also does bass and a lot of the rhythm parts on what you're hearing on the studio versions of that. Live, I play rhythm, and I might do some lead and all that kind of stuff. But, of course, when it's just me, I kind of have to play rhythm and play everything. But the studio versions, it's all of us together.
Wow, did that ever come together? I can't wait to hear. You got some now. That was Cowboys, Boots, and Angels. It's almost a tear-jerking song. You know, I mean, it's got such a wonderful message. And the sad part about that message is that it's a true message. I mean, this is what young kids, children are going through, and I see it every time I'm in the courtroom. Because so many, I would say a third of the cases that come to before Judge Ketchel have to do with some sort of children abuse, neglect, some crazy thing. These poor kids and all that they have to deal with out there. The lyrics are so hit home.
Yeah, and that's absolutely right. Like, these children didn't ask to be brought into the world. The parents made a decision to bring these children into the world, and like, the stories are different. Each child has their own stories, but the traumas are kind of the same, and they're dealing with abandonment issues, and who's really going to stand up to help them. And I just don't think that a lot of people are really aware of how crucial and how dire this situation really is with the court systems, with the addiction. A lot of it is addiction. Talking about one of the scenarios in Cowboy Boots and Angels, is the door's busted open, mama's not coming home, and that right there is talking about the mother has gone out and overdosed, and she's not coming home. So the child is left there, like the mother or the father, or like there's such domestic violence situations, and just anything you can think of. These children are dealing with it, and they didn't ask to be brought into the world, but they're here and they have to deal with it. And at 7 or 8 years old, some of these children are having to make grown decisions.
Wow. Wow, too much. Well, listen, if somebody's, I'm sure everybody liked that song. If anybody's interested in getting a copy of that song, folks, you can help support Josh and what he does. He's a veteran that's got out from the military with PSD and some other issues that he's dealing with. You can help support Josh. So, Josh, let's talk about all these 3 sites that we see on the screen: Spotify, YouTube. How do they get a copy of that soundtrack?
You can stream it on any of the services. You can get my stuff will be up on Amazon. Working to get the physical copies. This EP will release in another week, like September 16th. And on that EP, the CD version has an instrumental track. And I did that so the instrumental version of Cowboy Boots and Angels, people could sing it in church or at a social club or other event that they're doing if they wanted to help,
you
raise
are
awareness
too cool.
for children.
That is what a fabulous idea to share your music like that to folks that can do it. That is you don't get that. You don't see that all the time.
Well, yeah, I mean, trying to get the message out there, and this song really isn't, this song really is a way to try to raise awareness. So the more we can get the message out there, the better it is. So the CD version has the instrumental track, and then I actually have a vinyl record coming out too of that EP. So on the vinyl record, you'll hear the vocal version, if that makes sense.
No, that makes sense. And I thought I had an image loaded in here, and apparently I removed it since our last conversation, where you were holding a picture of you holding all that stuff. We'll bring it up at the next show we do. We'll do it again. Yep. We got plenty of opportunities. Are you playing live anywhere? Can someone come and hear you perform live at any time right now?
I don't have anything booked right now. That's kind of the next phase of doing this. This last year, I've been working on writing and recording, getting enough material out there that I can build a following and get some of these opportunities, for the bigger festivals and all that. So I'm starting to build the live end of it. I'm open to take any shows anywhere. I don't really do weddings or funerals, but short of that, I'll play anywhere. Right. It'll be just me and the guitar, for a while, but as I mentioned, kind of building Crestview's music scene. I'm eventually going to put together a band, so I would like to get people from Crestview and from this area that can play on a professional level that want to do it, and play music around more. So that's coming down the road.
Anything I can do to help you? You get a band together, we'll come to stream them live. A good friend of mine is Julie Porterfield. She is with Child Advocacy Center. I'm going to reach out to her and let her know about this song, because it really hits home with her and what she does in her organization. and we'll look forward to maybe hooking you guys up. And if they do fundraisers or something, perhaps you can go and perform at one of their fundraisers. Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Okay. Well, listen, I know during the music break, you were turning and talking to your kids, so apparently they've made it home from school for the day. That's a great thing. Encourage your daughter to come on. We want to have her just sing a song. Maybe you guys could do a duet. I think that would be pretty cool. If you guys could, maybe you guys could get together with the guitars and just do a little duet, and I could hear her sing and play, and just to share her talent with the local community also. I think people would really, really enjoy that, and I know I would.
Yeah, I'm trying to encourage her in it, and not put too much pressure on her just starting out. Excuse me. But,
that's cool.
But yeah, I mean, eventually.
Okay. Well, listen, Josh, I have a 4 o'clock event in Fort Walton Beach that I need to, me and the little man, I'm going to take the executive producer with me down there, and we're going to go hang out for an hour or so with some friends of ours that we had some fun with during the summertime. They're holding a special event, so we're going down there and hang out with them. But you're always encouraged to come back in the studio, and you're not bothering me when you contact me. So when we get the date of the 16th or sometime around there when the EP comes out, let's do another show. And please, I want you to play live. I want you to take your acoustic guitar. The audio is you've got the, not we, because you did it all, but your audio really sounds good now. So I tell you that you could take an acoustic guitar and play a song while we're doing this live stream like this, and it'd be fine.
Yeah, definitely. I'll work up something, and yeah, right there around the 15th or 16th, we'll film something again.
All right, folks, look at Josh Davis here in Crestview, Florida, if you can believe it. That kind of talent. And there's other talent out there. I know there's other talent out there. I just don't know about him yet, but I'm hoping that Josh and I can find some. But Josh Davis, he's on Spotify, he's on YouTube, he's on Instagram. He's got a Facebook page that's out there. I don't know why that's not on that graphic. I've just got in a hurry and put that together. The next one I'll revise it, and we'll have Facebook on it, because a lot of his music is on Facebook. And also what's on the Facebook page are some pretty cool images and pictures of the recording studio the folks that help him put this together, like the guitar player, the drum player that we talked about during the interview. There's photographs of them in their studio up in Georgia working on some of these projects. And it's just interesting to see who's behind the scenes on all this stuff. I think there's some interviews maybe with some of them also. Is that right, Josh?
Mm-hmm. John Johnson did a spot for me. Now, John is worked with some pretty big name people. So John worked with Brantley Gilbert. Brantley Gilbert's first album, Modern Day Prodigal Son. John actually produced that album, and he's worked with a couple other bigger name, like one bigger name Christian band, and then countless gospel acts. But he's been in the music business over 25 years. So yeah, he's worked with a lot of us, and so there's a spot from him on there, but there's videos of the guys actually recording the instrumental tracks to these songs on my Facebook page there. Cool. And what Facebook is The Real Josh Davis.
All right, so The Real Josh Davis. So if you want to see all that music come together that we just listened to just now, that song Cowboys, Boots, and Angels, do that. And Josh, I'm still working on getting you with a buddy of mine to get you some airplay here locally.
Okay.
Did you speak with the fellow that I gave you the number from? Did you talk to him at all?
I got to call him soon. I got his number right here.
Okay, yeah. He's expecting you to call him now. He's not there now. He's only there in the morning times. But reach out to him, and I'm fairly confident that they can get you in the rotation here on the local radio. So that would be really cool.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great.
Right.
I got 2 radio stations we're playing with right now. One's in Jennings, Louisiana, and the other was up in New York. So they've got all my songs in rotation.
It's good to be in rotation, but it's better to be in rotation here in the View.
Right.
Where some of your local fans can listen to the music and call in and email you and let you know how much they appreciate your music, and they enjoy listening to it. So Josh, I'm going to let you go. Go. Anything you want to wrap this up with before we go? Anything last words?
No, I was going to tell you my email is linked on my webpage also. It's josh@therealjoshdavis.com. So
is this not your email that I put? Oh, that's the website I put on there. I'm sorry. I meant to put your email on there. We'll do it. We'll put that graphic together for the next time, and make sure that
Yeah.
your email's on the screen. All right?
That's good though. If they go to that website, they'll find pretty much all the links there.
Okay.
You can
cool.
see the Tinker toys coming in now. The children are home.
Okay. Well, listen, your mug's going to go away. My mug's going to come up. We're going to close this show out. I sure do appreciate we've enjoyed talking with Josh Davis, local musician right here in Crestview. Josh, you have a good day.
All right, you too. Thanks, Ken.
All right. That was Josh Davis. That song, man, I just can't get it off my mind. It just keeps playing in the back of my mind. And I guess, being in a courtroom all day yesterday and listening to seeing these folks that have done things they should not have done with kids, and it's so prolific. I'm telling you, we had over 100 cases yesterday, and I'd say at least a third of them had to do with child neglect or child abuse. It's prolific, not just in our community, but in every community. And appreciate Josh putting that song together to help bring awareness to that situation. It's very, very sad. So that's it for now. You've been watching another episode of It's Your Time to Shine. Once again, if you're a first-time viewer to Crestview Community TV, please like our Facebook page. Now, don't go to the Ken Nielsen Facebook page because that maxed out at 5,000 followers, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago. People always try to go there. I get these friends requests, but I can't accept it because my personal page is maxed out. So you got to go to the Crestview Community Television Facebook page and like that page, and then you can be in touch with everything that we're doing. I promise you, if you like this Facebook page, I promise you, I know you get tired of me saying those, your regular viewers, but I will not barrage you with constant contact emails. I'm not going to ask you to link in or link out or line up or line in, any of that stuff. You won't even know that we exist unless you come to Crestview Community TV and see some of the really cool things that we're doing. For example, introducing you with It's Our Time to Shine to local artists, not just musicians, but painters and sculptures and all kinds of. There's a lot of talent right here in our local community that a lot of folks aren't even aware of. So if you know somebody, if your child has some talent, please reach out to me. We'll be glad to put him on the show. We can't ever have enough content to fill this show up, so please reach out to me if you know somebody at your church, your school, your next door neighbor, wherever that is a talent that would like to do this, convince them into it. Please encourage them to do that. So that's it for now. Thanks to all of our sponsors that you've seen going across the bottom of the screen. Those are the folks that make Crestview Community Television possible. That's it. We thank you all for all your support.